Nathan, check it out. We are surrounded by Challengers and, of course, the Hellcat.
That's right, baby. This is one of the most powerful vehicles you can buy, and it is badass.
And coming up next, we're going to do what?
We're going to take it on the track.
And we're going to review it, and that is coming up on the Fast Lane Car.
Wait. Go on back there. Check this out. That's just healthy and badass. Cojones!
There it is, the beast that lies within, the Hellcat Hemi engine. 707 horsepower and 650 pound-foot of torque. In this case, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. You can also get a manual transmission if you like to shift it yourself. Perhaps the coolest bit of trivia about this engine, it takes 80 horsepower just to run this massive supercharger, and boy, can you hear it. Look at that, I can stick my hand in the headlight. Actually, Chrysler has patented this. It's the air intake for the supercharger. I know you see it on a lot of race cars, but to see it on a production car and to hear it and to feel the power, that is so freaking cool. Best of all, this light actually lights up, so unless you know there's actually an air intake here, you're gonna assume it's just a headlight.
One interesting thing that Dodge did when they were doing the styling to this vehicle is they didn't go overboard. I mean, they could have at any moment thrown massive wings on here and some ridiculous stuff, but everything you're looking at right now is functional. This is aerodynamically and built for heat and for induction. And Roman showed you earlier, the headlight, well, that's just on one side. I mean, that's kind of cool. Nobody does stuff like that. It goes throughout the vehicle. This is still the Challenger, and frankly, it is still a really, really good looking car. And it's still bigger than the Mustang, and it's still much bigger than the Camaro. But at the same time, it feels light on its feet. Now, I'm not talking about just driving, I'm talking about looking at it. It just looks like it's up on its toes and it's ready to go. And they didn't have to go crazy with the size of the tires or anything else. Everything is logically laid out. This is not a car that actually has too much excess, except for the fact that it's a Challenger.
We got the Hellcat on the track, but we're not going to take him in anger. This is kind of a shakeout lap just to see how it does, because we're not wearing helmets and they don't like us
Going too
fast without helmets, yeah.
But so far, I did take it around, aside from doing the 0 to 60s, and you know what I'm really impressed with is the fact that 707 horsepower is so tame. It really is. And here that's the supercharger.
It's magnificent, isn't it?
Freaking awesome. It sounds a lot different than the supercharger that's in the Camaro, the ZL1.
Yeah.
That one has a little bit heavier whine. This one's a little bit lighter.
This thing flows about 30,000 litres of air a minute at rated. So if you've all got an office that's 10 foot by 13 foot, run this in it for a minute, there's no air left in that office. So it really, really does suck a huge amount of air.
I mean, they both sound great, don't get me wrong. So, you want to hear some stats of this car?
Yes,
awesome.
please,
I
Nathan.
actually got some stats.
I am just enjoying being
Okay, you drive.
Yes.
And I'm going to read while you're going around a racetrack. I'm an idiot. Okay. So, this one has the 8-speed torque flight transmission. That's all new for this vehicle. And what it does in like the 6-cylinder and the regular Hemi is that it gets a better gas mileage, it's faster, 0 to 60 times, it's more drivable. So far, it's been really good on the track. Yes, I would rather have a manual. No, the manual is not faster, not in any way.
Those shifts are wicked.
The shifts are really just snap.
Yeah, they snap you in the back of the head.
If you run into the van that's recording us right now, I will never hear the end of it. Okay, Brembo brakes all the way around.
We'll have it on video.
Yeah, we will. 15.4 in the front, 13.8 in the back. Folks, this is a completely different interior than what you experienced in the past, and it's taken the Dodge Challenger from being kind of the least interesting to the most interesting and the most comfortable. The interior is just simply put fantastic. It competes with the Corvette now, which, as you know, the Corvette's recently been updated and it's excellent. So really well done. And it's not just on the Hellcat, it's going from the base model all the way up. Now there are some new things and a larger screen and just the basics, but for the most part, what you're really seeing here is a step up in quality.
You know, people, when we did the BMW video, people always asked who crashed BMWs, because two guys apparently crashed BMWs, right? The M4 and the M3.
And you're telling me this while you're driving?
Yes, but here the thing about the fast lane car is every time we do something, their camera's rolling, guys. So
yeah.
If I were in the back of this van,
you'll see it, and we'll put it up there.
We'll put it up there, yeah, don't worry.
After the attorneys call us, we'll probably take it down.
I'm sorry, Nathan, you were saying?
Shut up. $63,000 for this car.
To harness all this power, we've got two transmission options that go with the engine. The 8-speed transmission, upgraded by 30% torque capacity over the transmission used in the V8 car. Basically, that upgrade is by adding extra friction discs in the clutches. There are extra pinions, and the gears are wider. So, very, very substantial transmission on the 8-speed side. On the manual side, we use the Viper transmission, but again, because of the increased torque, we actually add an internal oil cooling pump, and that circulates oil to an external heat exchanger to try and keep everything in check.
$63,000 for a car that puts out more horsepower than any Lamborghini currently on the road. I mean, just think about that. It's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. And you know, my biggest fear was, before I got behind the wheel of this car, is that it's going to overpower the chassis, right? Let's face it, muscle cars have always been about point and shoot, right? Going down a straightaway as fast as possible and not about turning, but it really feels composed.
Okay, here's another place where the Challenger simply crushes everybody else. Real world utility. This is a massive trunk, and it's actually a very usable trunk. Now, in terms of overall space, well, the back seat actually has 3 seat belts, and you can actually get 3 people in the back seat. So altogether, overall utility, really good. Space, really good. These seats fold down. I mean, this is a 707 horsepower car that has this, and you can go all the way down to the vehicle that puts out just over 300 horsepower and get the same amount of space. It's just really well done. Good utility.
Nathan, our viewers want to know, do you fit?
I fit. No.
Yes,
No,
Go, Nathan, get in the trunk. Nathan.
And if you really push it and you really want the rear end to step out, it will, even with the automatic transmission. Now, there are other modes. The track mode is the one that they highly recommend when you're on track. You know, it's a big surprise. Let's see what else we got here.
This is an ultimate drifting machine, right? If you wanted to drift this around the corner.
Yeah,
which
I already did.
Which you already did.
Yeah.
This is the.
But you know,
I love that, Nathan.
But you don't need the 707 horsepower to drift this car. No. To do the drifting, you could easily do it with the V6 for crying out loud. This baby is if you want to pass people who are drifting. That's what I'm saying. Because you know what? Look, drifting looks cool, but at the end of the day, it's a bunch of crap when you're talking about getting around a track the fastest possible way. The only way drifting works on a track is if it's a drifting event, or if you're rally racing.
You know, I am like a dog just straining at the leash because there is so much power under my my right toe.
Yeah, your left toe?
Yeah, my left toe has not a lot of power under it. But he's got the traction control off on this, and I know if I were to floor this, that back end would just come around. Here, let's try it. Can we try it? There we go, we got drifting. You want it drifting? There was drifting.
Figured you were going to do that. You know what the worst part is I'm trying to read this damn thing and he's pulling this crap.
Come on, it's
If I wasn't reading this, you'd be taking this really slow like a church mouse. All right.
Nathan, you said you fit, so show us how you fit.
Folks, don't try this if you're a big fat guy in a Mustang or a Camaro. But, dude, you know what? I do fit. Now, 3 adults back here, especially if they're big, not a great idea. But I was able to get 2 kids back here with a small adult, no problem.
Yeah, but that's the old model.
It's the same thing. And this is actually nicer leather, too. It's very squishy on the tushy.
All right, now pull down those seats and climb the back.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No, dude, we're at a drive event. I don't want to go in the back. I want to drive the car. I just want to drive the car.
All right, let's drive the car.
Thank you. So the bottom line is that you're paying about 60 grand for a car that I can't think of anything within 30 grand of this car that even comes close with the performance.
Yeah.
Even close.
Yeah, we don't know what the new Mustang will be like, of course. So I'm gonna give this guy a thumbs up. And we don't know what that'll be like, but right now, you know, the king is dead. Long live the king. And the king is the challenger.
This is the freaking king.
Yeah, this is definitely the king right now. I know.
Oh, and by the way, folks, if you were wondering how much Chrysler's paying us to say this for them, 707 horsepower. That's what they're paying us.
Yes, exactly right.
Damn.
Under my right toe.
Under your right toe.
On the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, what do you give it?
I give it a wait a minute. We actually
we
should. We have to get it up to Colorado and actually drive it more than one day. We have to see what it's like to drive it every day.
$60,000, 707 horsepower. Buy it.
I'm not even going to argue with him really, but still we need to get it up to Colorado and actually drive it around. And here's the cool part, with the supercharger, we're not going to lose that much horsepower for once, which is great. And by the way, my old patented, because it deserves it.
As always, this is Roman.
And Nathan.
And I'm not being very objective today. Saying thanks for watching and check out the Fast Lane car for
news, views, and real world reviews.
Ciao. All right, Nathan, we have a Hellcat and we have a racetrack. What are we going to do?
Well, we're at the best part of the racetrack, a straightaway, so we're going to do 0 to 60s.
And that is coming up next on the Fast Lane car. This is going to be fun.